Hello guys, my name is Yesenia and I just kind of wanted to make this video. I'm not sure if it's going to be quick or not, just to kind of give you guys my perspective and kind of like my journey on PCOS. And many of you probably know what it is, a lot of you might not. PCOS is a health condition that I was diagnosed with. I know a lot of women suffer from this condition. PCOS is it's a hormonal imbalance. It's higher levels of male hormones in a female, which causes different changes in your body. One of the main changes that I went through was extreme hair growth in different places. For example, I was getting like chin hair like on my sides. Hair started to grow on my shoulders, on my back. It was embarrassing, honestly. Another thing, I started to lose a lot of hair. Like every time I would literally brush my hair, or like even run my fingers through my hair, I would end up with like clumps of hair that would just fall out every single time. And not even to mention, when I would be in the shower, I'd be like shampooing my hair, I'd run my fingers through my hair and like bunches of hair would come out as well. Another thing was extremely fast weight gain. I started to gain so much weight and I did not know why. And the reason weight gain is here is because, well, part of it, the imbalance of the hormones, but you also have higher levels of insulin that stay in your body, and your body has a harder time breaking down that glucose, so it grabs onto all of the carbs and all of that fat and sugar. Specifically, it doesn't really break down sugar as fast as it should. So it was a rough time for me because I started to lose my hair. I started to grow hair in other places. My weight was gaining super, like, extremely fast. I had always been at like 170 ish to like 180, no more than 180. And I remember one day I got on the scale and I was at 199. I was about to hit that 200. And sorry, I get really emotional because I know a lot of people that suffer this, and I just want to be able to be a help for someone else. So the moment I reached 199, I was devastated. My clothes wouldn't fit right. Like everything that I would put on was super tight. I felt super uncomfortable. I felt super self-conscious about my image and how I was looking. My face got super, like, I have a round face kind of, but my cheeks were like super, I felt like I looked like a chipmunk. My self-confidence, my self-image, I was just devastated. Like, I felt like everyone was judging me. I felt like everyone was telling me, or that everyone was thinking I was big. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I didn't feel comfortable in my own body. But learning how to change my health lifestyle and my routine has helped me tremendously. And if I could help one person that's going through the same thing, because I remember exactly how I felt when I was doing all the research I could and trying to figure out like what I could do. I didn't want to end up bald with extreme hair. I didn't feel attractive to my husband anymore. I mean, and it was all in my head, because as a confident person, knows that your significant other loves you and they're gonna love you no matter what, but it was just in my head. And yeah, sorry. Okay, anyway, PCOS. So that is that in hormonal balance condition. I did a lot of research. I had to completely change my eating habits. I started with trying to eat clean in a way that it was moderate protein, very little fats, and moderate carbs. I tried to not eat much like tortilla. I'm Mexican, so Hispanic community, you know, like tortilla is like big. I tried to do like, you know, brown rice with chicken and vegetables. I did that for a while. It kind of worked. It taught me how to stop eating a lot of the sugars that I wasn't like needing. I learned how to substitute and like do a lot of sugar-free syrups, and for my coffee, because I have to have coffee every single day in the morning to wake up. So I learned how to have a cup of black coffee with just stevia or sugar-free syrup. Because again, the levels of insulin that I was having in my body weren't allowing glucose to fully break down, and that's why the gain of the weight was happening. So I had to also implement a lot of workouts in my diet. I was doing a lot of research in around my area. I'm sure there's, wherever you're at, if you have the financial possibilities to do this, but I hired a personal trainer, and it's a very small training area. I'll link down below where I went, but it was a 6-month contract, 2 days a week, and it was workouts personally like fitted to me and my goals and what I wanted to do. Let me tell you, I started at 197 pounds with them, and I ended up at 182 at the end of the 6 months. And the trainer, he said that we did a lot of improvement just because I actually like followed through my diet. I still continue with my diet and I eat clean. I'm not saying I eat clean every single day perfectly, like I'm not super strict about it, because I don't want to call it a diet. It's just a change of lifestyle of my eating habits. Yeah, I do have a cookie here and there, chocolate here and there, but it's not like before. I used to sit down and eat a whole bag of hot Cheetos in one sitting just because I was craving hot Cheetos. Like I had to learn how to really think about how I was gonna feel after I ate whatever meal or whatever food, whatever snack, and how that was gonna affect my body on the long run. So weight was one of the biggest things for me, and just changing my eating habits, from eating just whatever. I actually had to sit down and like make a meal plan. I wouldn't really follow it all the time, just because it was kind of hard to continue a meal plan that I'm trying to adjust for myself and then do it for my husband. I would have to, prepare lunch for him, and I obviously don't eat as much as he does, and he needs more calories than I do because of the field of work that he does and because of the body shape. He's bigger than me, of course. He has more muscle mass than me, so he needs a lot more to feel off of. So but we have learned how to cope and to make meals according to each of our bodies, and I'm really grateful that he's always been supportive, and he's try to keep the diet with me. It's really important to have that environment being supportive of you, because when you live in a place, like, it's only my husband and I here, so it's pretty helpful. But I think about like people that live with other family members, that they may not be on the same page with you. They support you for you to eat healthy, but they don't necessarily want to eat healthy themselves. So it's like you're trying to eat a salad and they bring a burger and they're eating right next to you, and it's kind of like hard. Hi, Rosie. This is Rosie. Say hi. She just gave birth to 3 cute puppies. Anyway, what's wrong, Rosie? So the diet part, that was one of the biggest things that helped me to change my lifestyle. Almost 2/3 of the way through personal training, my trainer and I were discussing different eating habits, and I'm sure you've heard about it, but we stumbled across the keto diet. And for me, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna start it. And let me tell you, it has been like the best change of eating lifestyle that I've made. I can, like, I feel it's so easy for me. I mean, I felt it was a lot easier because I was already used to like not eating so much sugars and so much carbs. So decreasing it a little bit more wasn't too hard for me. And then I just had to increase the fat intake and my protein intake a little bit. But what I figured with the keto diet, because I was increasing the fat intake and I was already used to not having so much carbs or sugars, that really helped me like that boost start. And it actually has kept me like feel full for longer periods of time. Because I remember before, I don't know, maybe it was part of like my anxiety or like just my stress or like me thinking about like me losing all this hair or like all these other symptoms that I had with PCOS. Rosie, shh. I would always be like just thinking about food. I would just be thinking about the next meal, the next snack, and I would always be craving, like I could not be sitting down without snacking on something. So it was very important for me to like, when I would go grocery shopping, not to get unhealthy snacks, because I would only crave hot Cheetos. I crave them all the time, especially like around my period time. But hot Cheetos, like anything has to do with chips, like I crave a lot of salty things. And you know, salt retains the water in your body, but at the same time I also craved a lot of like the sweeter things would be like breads, like cakes, coffee. I would crave coffee, like that extras, like frappuccino type coffee. Like I just wanted that, and I just felt like I had to have it all the time, and I would want to fill myself with all of these unhealthy snacks. So that's one of the many things that I had to do as well to kind of help to minimize the sugar intake, was to just completely take out all those bad snacks. I replaced them with, you know, like fruits and veggies. Although with the keto diet, you are restricted to like almost zero type of fruits. Oh my gosh, I was a big pineapple lover. Pineapple and banana and apple. I would have an apple every single day. But all of those fruits, they're very good and they're healthy for you. But when you're on the keto diet and you have high levels of insulin, they tend to have a lot of even though it's natural sugar, it's still sugar. So sugar is sugar, so it's gonna stay in your body. I do have fruit here and there once in a while, but it's not like I used to before. And I feel like maybe that's one of the reasons that I wasn't really losing weight, even though I was eating clean, was because I was still having all these amounts of fruits. And you know, everyone's different. You have to learn what your body is telling you and how your body is working, because everyone's body is different, and obviously you need different nutrients, different like amounts of nutrients and foods in your system for your body to be good and at a healthy level. But other than the healthy eating part, as I was mentioning before, I did do 6 months of personal training. In those 6 months, I learned a lot of different techniques. Maybe it's a stereotype, a lot of girls are afraid of weights. I was afraid of weights. I would barely even go to the gym. I had a gym membership at my hometown, but I would barely even go. And when I would go, I would literally just go on the treadmill and then do some machines here and there. But the actual weight area was like at the corner, and I was like super scared. I felt like everyone was gonna judge me because I didn't know anything about that. Now I feel confident enough. I feel like I know enough. I'm not an expert. I know enough for my body. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and teach you how to do a dumbbell squat or tell you how much to lift, or because it's all depending on your body type, and you have to start small and like slowly increase. So that's what we did. The trainer that I was training with, he implemented a lot of weight training, and I did notice, even though I didn't lose so much, I only lost like 15 pounds, but my body mass, and like a lot of people around me, like my husband's family and my family, people around me have been like noticing and been telling me, hey, you know, like you look slim, like what are you doing? Like they are asking. So I feel like that's one of the major positive things about it, that, or like that's the point where you see your results when other people notice it, because you might not notice it because you see yourself every day, or even like your spouse or the person that you're living with might not notice it because they're seeing you every single day. But when you stop seeing people for a while, maybe like 2-3 weeks, and then they see you and they're like, oh, hey, you know, you like slim down, like what are you doing? That's a good feeling. That's how, like, I felt good about myself a little bit more once people started to notice, and once people started to tell me, hey, you know, like. And one of the parts that I started to notice more also was in my clothes. Like my clothes wasn't fitting too tight anymore. Like jeans that I had that would, like, I would have hard time like buckling up, and I would end up being able to buckle up because I wasn't willing to accept the fact that they didn't fit anymore, and I didn't want to buy a bigger size. So I would like suck it in and just tie it up, but I would be so uncomfortable all day. I'd be sitting at a desk, and I'd come home, just want to take them off, put some yoga pants on, and I'd have this harsh line right here. Like it would cut me a little bit, like it would hurt. It was hurting so much, but I just didn't want to go out and buy a new pair of jeans just because I didn't want to have to buy a bigger size. So I held on to all the clothes, and I fit in them. Some fit loose even. My husband has told me that he's noticed like my body figure slimming down, but like in a toning way, not like having all these saggy parts. I do have a bunch of stretch marks, and I started to get a lot of stretch marks on my stomach and on my arms, even on the side of my back, like the back fat part. But I feel like that was just because I went from being at this weight to being over here like in such a short amount of time because of PCOS. So my skin stretched so much, so fast, that when it started to actually like shrink again a little bit, I was left with all of these stretch marks. And at first I was very self-conscious about it, but you know what? It's natural. It's your body. It represents growth, and for it to have shrunk down, and it represents like all the hard work that I've been doing and all the work that I'm like gonna continue to do. So that is for the weight gain part. I'm so sorry. You can tell it's a hormonal imbalance because I get very sensitive and my hormones are just everywhere. But anyway, one of the other things I struggled a lot, as I was mentioning before, was a hair loss. So my hair was longer. It was maybe like to my bust line, like length down here. I've always had blonde hair. I started to like put in highlights ever since I could remember, and even for my wedding, like I was like this super like blonde, and I remember I started to let my hair grow out just because I wanted that like balayage ombre effect on my hair, and I did that. So I let it grow out a little bit, but because of PCOS and my hair falling out, my hair started to thin so much. It was like elastic, and like I grabbed a ponytail and I could literally, like, I had to wrap it was a tiny little ponytail. I had to wrap it around like 3 times for it to feel tight. That's how little of my hair was left and how thin it was. So I was like tired of it. I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. and like you could tell, like you can still kind of tell right here, there's like, you can see like my scalp, but it's not as bad as it used to. Like my scalp was see-through, like the hair, there was such little amount of hair there that you can see through the hair, and you can just see my scalp, and even on the sides. And right now, as you can tell, there's like baby hairs growing, but that's because of what I did next. So I did a lot of research, and I saw that in order to level out the hormones, I needed to obviously take more hormones to be able to level out and suppress the male hormones. So I decided to go on birth control. Oh, that's another thing that affects women, that if you're trying to have a baby, if you're trying to get pregnant, if you have PCOS, it's highly difficult to achieve that, just because of the different levels of hormones that you have in you, and the irregular menstrual cycles. So I know, well, we've only been married for a little bit over a year, and we hadn't had any type of protection. We were just kind of like, if we got pregnant, it was fine. If not, it's fine too. Like, we'd be happy either way. We didn't want to use any type of like birth control or anything like that. But because of this condition, it wasn't allowing us to get pregnant, and so we were kind of like getting worried at first. Like, we thought there was something wrong with me or something wrong with him, but then we obviously figured out it was because of the PCOS. And it's not impossible to get pregnant when you're on PCOS. You just kind of have to take different methods. One of the methods that I started to use, as I mentioned right now, was taking birth control pills. And I have been on birth control for 3 months now. And I believe I have the pills with me here. They gave me these to try them out. These are the Chateal, I don't know if you can tell, Chateal birth control. And I did a lot of research on these before I even started. There's tons of different types of birth control pills. Different ones will give you different results. A lot of the ones that I read, most of them will give you like weight gain, but this one did not give me any weight gain at all. I'm not sure, maybe because I'm like working out on a regular basis. We try to go to the gym at least 4 times a week, and because I'm like eating healthy and really watching what I eat and stuff, so weight gain was not a problem with these. I did read a lot of reviews from girls that were taking them, that it completely decreased their sex drive, so they would not like feel the urge to have intimate relationships with their significant other. And a lot of them that I read did mention that when they actually did go into having intimate relationships, that it was even painful. That is not the case for me, but for me, like, it did decrease like my want of having intimate relationship with my husband. It's not a huge deal, but I mean, that is a big part of a relationship, to be intimate with your significant other. Other than that, I mean, it's not painful for me, and I mean, we still do it, so other than that, these pills have really helped to control the extra hair growth. I have no extra hair growth whatsoever. Like the hair that I had on my shoulders, it looks like regular like hair on your body, not like a manly one. So like that decreased. And then also the one on my face, like I would usually go and like have like this whole part like waxed, and within a week it was, or even less than a week, like hairs would be growing so much, and like they weren't just regular hairs, they're like, and they would grow all the way to my neck down here. They would be super 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 long hairs, like if I had shaved with a razor blade. It was gross. So that definitely fixed that problem. And my hair started to grow out a lot more. As I was saying, like I used to have longer hair, blonde. My hair was super thin. I decided to cut it. I completely cut it like to this length, as you can see. I dyed it. I went brunette. Well, it's like a reddish color, but you know, like darker. Just so like I wasn't so high maintenance on my hair and I wasn't like really damaging it. So after starting to take the pills, I really like significantly started to see a difference. Like now, like my hair is growing back, like all these baby hairs. Like I'm so happy about my hair. Like I brush it, and I mean, yeah, like normally, like before I even had this condition, like I would brush it and like a hair or two would fall out, but that's about it. And that is about it what happens to me now. So definitely changing your eating habits, getting on some type of birth control, or taking some hormones to balance out your hormones. Of course, don't just go out and do this. Like actually you have to actually go visit your doctor and try to see what they can help you with. And this was definitely the first step that she suggested for me. Well, first she suggested for me to lose a little bit of weight because she did see me like gain weight pretty fast. And by losing weight first, your hormones might balance out. But then if that really doesn't help much, then that's when she recommended me specifically to start the on the pills. And I just recently went and got my prescription again. It's for a whole year. I only had it for 3 months just to try these pills out, but I really like them, so I'm gonna stick to them. And as of the other things that come with PCOS, they really helped me with the hair fall. It stopped, and my hair's growing back out. The hair growth is stopped, and it's not growing anymore, so it's good. And I am able to balance my body weight, and I'm still going on the journey to be able to lose a little bit more weight and just to stay on this healthy lifestyle. Sorry. So if you guys have any more questions, anything that I didn't cover, I tried to cover a lot of the things that I have gone through. I'm gonna try to kind of do updates on different things. Maybe if I find something helpful later, if you have any questions of things that you want me to add, or that you're going through that I might have gone through but I didn't really cover it, I'm sorry. Just go ahead and leave the comment below. This is Rayo. Hi Rayo. This is the dad of the puppies. Anyway, just leave a comment below and I would be more than glad to answer the questions. So, yep, talk to you soon.